How are we feeling? What are we supposed to make of a Broncos offseason that has been quiet for a team that maybe didn't need a lot but hasn't done a lot? How do you feel about the team so far?
We needed one guy, and his name was Jalen Waddle. Up until that point, I was getting a little nervous, a little antsy, a little impatient with the Broncos. And I think ultimately it's a good sign when you re-sign a lot of your own players, right? You feel good about that. But as a fan, you need a splash. You need something sexy. And I think knowing that the passing game is close, feels like they've just been lacking that weapon, and they get a proven guy in Jalen Waddle, and now I don't think anybody can stop him, certainly in the AFC West.
You mentioned Jalen Waddle. It seems like, the best team in the AFC West. Team. Here we go. Hands down. You mentioned Jalen Waddle being that big splash, but he pretty much was the only major addition that this front office has pulled off this offseason. What's your level of comfort or concern with the front office, given that was the only real move?
I think as long as they have devoted their resources to medical science and making sure Bo Nix is taking the proper amount of calcium, and that his ankle never breaks at the end of a division champion or a division playoff game again, so he can play in the championship. I think that's all I need to hear. I don't care really so much about the other roster moves because they were so close. They were a game away from getting to the Super Bowl. Game away. Maybe you could upgrade backup quarterback in case that happens again. But science. I need a Walter White level scientist working in the Broncos front office. And I will say, I do agree with Brian that Hal is the better father because he did not kill anybody. That's we are on the same page there.
That's probably a good that's the right floor. That's question. Yeah. Like if you're in a Dad of the Year contest, question number 1 is, have you killed anybody this year? If the answer is no, then you probably get a little bit of a bump there.
Yeah.
I will
that's
say
a great question for a first date as well. You know,
that is. Have you ever killed anyone? That's yes. Probably that's a swipe. There we go. All right. Let me ask you though about Davis Dragon Webb. We fell in love with Dragon Webb on this show, talking to many people that have a lot of experience around him. He becomes not only the offense coordinator, but he gets the play calling duty, which I think even people that have been around Sean Payton were shocked by. How do you feel about that move for this offense?
I think that's the most with the lack of moves. And if the Broncos didn't sign Jalen Waddle, the thing I was going to be telling myself is they didn't need to because they're giving Davis Webb the opportunity to call plays. So I think Broncos fans are really excited about it. I think everything you hear about Davis Webb is very positive from, not just when he was with the Broncos, but the Giants and everything he does kind of behind the scenes. And I think the offense needs a little bit of, refreshing in that department. And I think we all know Sean Payton's got a very large ego, and I don't think he would do this unless he actually trusted Davis Webb. So I think his vote of confidence in Davis is pretty cool and exciting. And in terms of developing, Bo Nix and the offenses in the NFL, just keeping up with what all the other, I think, talented coaches are doing. I'm excited to see if Davis can do it. And Broncos fans got a taste of it last preseason. And you know how crazy fans are. He called one preseason game, and everybody's like, this guy should be calling the plays all year long. And the moment the offense stalled, it was like, let's get Sean Payton out of there, calling plays, and put in Davis Webb. So I think they've been waiting for this for some time.
I want to ask you a question that revolves around other teams in your division. You mentioned the Broncos are going to be the best team in the AFC West, sure. But I want to look at the rest of the division and specifically at the Raiders. They've had a very unique offseason. They've made a couple of additions there. Quarterback, one, of course, is still pending. And then, Max Crosby, getting him back after the drama with Baltimore. What stands out to you as a Broncos fan in terms of what the Raiders did this offseason?
Yeah, I think you hit it there. Their best signing was keeping Max Crosby, so that was huge. Second, Clint Kubiak, I think, is the right guy for that team. As a Broncos fan, Gary Kubiak was our guy. Came in 2015, got the Broncos the Super Bowl win after being with the organization for such a long time. So I think if you watch what Kubiak did for the Seahawks, it feels like he's ready for this opportunity. And I hate to say that because I want the Raiders to stay in purgatory. Like it's fun knowing you've got one team that's going to be bad every year. And that was the Raiders. And it feels like they have really changed their philosophy and approach. And I definitely don't want to give Tom Brady any of the credit there either. And they've got the number 1 pick. So we'll see, I think Mendoza has a great shot because of Kubiak. Tyler Linderbaum was a big signing for him in free agency. They bring in some linebackers, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean. It feels like they're making too many smart moves. And I'm used to the Raiders doing something crazy. You're like, that's probably going to blow up in their face. And last year they got credit too. I thought, hey, Pete Carroll's coming in, Geno Smith. I didn't think they were going to be great, but I was like, this is going to be a competitive team. Didn't work out. So I hope I'm wrong again. But yeah, we did a Mendoza video and I'm like, I like him too much. He might be a problem in a couple years. So speaking kindly of division rivals is never fun, but it feels like they're making grown-up decisions.
You know what? I will respond to your kindness towards my beloved Raiders with kindness to you, acknowledging that I think the Broncos are clearly the best team in the AFC West. I don't think it's even close, right? And I think the Broncos are a hell of a lot closer to the Super Bowl than the rest of the West is to the Broncos. So let me ask you this. Why is it that none of us are scared of the Chargers? Because on paper, the Chargers always look like they should be scary, but literally no. I think if you went to every single fan in the AFC West and said, how you feel about the Chargers, every single fan base is like, why?
Yeah. It's that photo of Herbert right there. He doesn't look like a killer. He looks way too nice. He looks way too nice.
That's Hal, not Walter White.
Yeah, exactly. They got Hal. I think like the Chargers, there's always injuries that slow them down, right? This last year, they lose their tackles that killed them. I think I love Mike McDaniel. He's probably my favorite coach in the NFL. I think in terms of just comedy, nobody can touch him. I think he could be a comedian if he wanted to. So he's my guy. I think him getting back to just calling the offense is going to be great for the Chargers. I did not understand the Greg Roman hiring for the Chargers. Like it just didn't make sense with Herbert. And I think you saw that through the course of the season. And even their free agents they bring in, like Keaton Mitchell will be exciting in the backfield. Charlie Kolar and Alec Ingold, assuming their tackles are healthy, I feel like they're going to be better at blocking. And that's what Harbaugh wants to do. But Mike McDaniel's the X factor. If you want to bank on a reason they'll be kind of dangerous, I think it's Mike.
Ooh, certainly. So, as we look at the rest of the division, the Chiefs still kind of stick out in a weird way. I mean, they get Travis Kelce back. They're getting Patrick Mahomes, of course. We'll have Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he's up there. But they've added a big addition in the run game with Kenneth Walker coming in. What do you think about the way that Denver's going to have to protect against that run game this year?
Not worried.
Okay.
Andy Reid,
Super Bowl MVP, no worry.
Sticking to the run game? I don't think so. I think they might run, consistently if Mahomes is out for a little bit. But their offense, I love Kenneth Walker. I think he was incredible for Seattle, especially down the stretch. But I have watched Kansas City just not utilize their running backs. So they'll have to convince me that they're going to. And now that now that I just said that, he's going to have like 1,800 rushing yards. It's going to blow up in my face. But I think the Mahomes injury is just a huge question mark. I think we all know Mahomes is a freak. He'll probably be on the field week 1. But I think until we see him start to trust that knee and start to feel comfortable doing the things that he does well, which is extending plays and, having that, it's weird to say that he's like sneaky fast, but He looks like he's so slow when he's running, but nobody can catch him or tackle him. Once we see that kind of manifest again, then I'll start to worry. But I think they've got a lot of questions to answer for the first time in a long time, and I hope they answer none of them. I hope they finish last place.
It is. I can't find a path to the Chiefs to last place, but if I could, I wouldn't be mad about it. Like even Chiefs fans last year when they didn't win the Super Bowl finally, and Chiefs fans coming out being like, "Oh, it's nice to have a little break." All right, Perna, we appreciate your time. You guys follow him on social media at Brandon Perna. Obviously, check out That's Good Sports on YouTube. We always appreciate your time, your expertise, and we'll keep the trash talking going all the way through. Obviously, all the way through next football season. At least maybe the Raiders will finally be good enough that we can talk a little trash on that. In the meantime, we'll be back right here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern with everything you need to know to catch up from the action tonight. Coley Harvey did a great job filling in. He'll be back with us tomorrow. I'm Jason Fitz. Perna, we appreciate your flexibility hanging out with us as always today. Come back tomorrow. See us 9 a.m. Eastern, Yahoo Sports Daily.